Good morning and welcome to our lovely Queen's Park. Yes, I think this is actually the first video I've ever done on a Sunday morning. Tell you, mornings aren't for me. As you can see, I'm a wee bit rusty still. I've been up all night editing my Masters vlog from last night. I'm a wee bit tired. However, we are here for a reason. This weekend, ladies and gentlemen, you may notice it's the international weekend. And on Tuesday, we've got a certain occasion against the old enemy. Yes, we are playing against England on Tuesday. And I thought, do you know what? What better way to get in the mood than to learn a little bit about Scotland's history. Today, we are here for the Glasgow football tour. In just a wee minute, we're going to go and meet Lindsay. This is a very exciting one. We are going to see not one, not two, but 3 Hampdens. Let's go and find out a little bit more. Come on. Well, here she is. Lindsay?
Yes.
Thank you for having me here.
That's right.
Me and Lindsay actually met, what was it, a couple of months ago?
A couple of months ago at Hampden, for a wee event.
So we were working with the Scottish FA. Thank you for the Scottish FA for having us down. What a day that was, wasn't it?
Class, wasn't it? I beat you as well.
We'll not talk about that. I didn't need to mention that, Lindsay, however. Today, I'm down here for the Glasgow football tour. Yeah. This is something I've been meaning to do for ages. Finally, I'm getting it ticked off my list. I'm buzzing to be here. Yeah. For the people that don't know, would you like to explain a little bit about the Glasgow football tour? Yeah,
so I set this up about 4 years ago. We've been hit with COVID, obviously, so it's been running for about 2 years, really straight on. Started first a driven tour, went around all the stadiums in Glasgow, and then COVID hit and we were like, we need to pivot. So we started this walking tour. Everybody could be outside, breathing fresh air, all the rest of it. So this is the story of the 3 Hampdens, which everybody, not a lot of folk know. There's actually 3 of them. There's an unofficial one as well, which we're going to hear about a wee bit later on. And basically it's the story of how Scotland invented football and took it around the world. It's brilliant, honestly. It's class.
If you didn't know that, you're going to find out a little bit more. Right, without further ado, let's go.
Hampdens. Little less known fact, there are actually 3 Hampden parks, not just the big one up the road. Yeah, it's right. You're going to be the boo boy for the rest of the day, that's it.
And we're off. Lindsay's got us on a stroll through the marshes, I think. Boys, we've got a couple of Thistle fans here.
Yep.
Poor guys.
I know.
It's really, really poor from you. Why did you become Thistle fans?
You took me. Aye, somebody took me, so 40.
Well, we've got a day off of Thistle today. We can forget about them and we can enjoy the history of Scotland. Do you actually know this story about the 3 Hampdens?
Yeah, I know about the bowling club, but not the full story.
It's very, very interesting. I don't know fully about the story, but Lindsay's got something great going on, isn't she? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, very much so.
Very good. Let's go.
You are standing in Queen's Park Recreation Ground. So before we kick off anything, there's a couple of myths, a couple of rumours that we need to bust. All right. The London Football Association is what everybody now knows to be the Football Association, because if you put a THE in front of something, you're the first one to do it. However, the first unified football association in the whole world is the Scottish Football Association. You're right, Scott, yeah? Scott, you're bang on. Scottish Football Association invented 1873. The London FA, or the English FA, was not unified until 1877. So we predate them by about 4 or 5 years. Stirling Castle is where the oldest ball in the world was found. It was found in the Queen's Chambers around about the 1540s. It's a wee haggis shaped looking thing with a couple of wee sewn bits together on it. But it is the oldest ball in the world and it was discovered here in Scotland. Right, next one. Oldest football law. Who has it? There's a theme here, by the way, guys. Is that?
Scotland.
Scotland, you're right, big man. Queen's Park invented the rule which allows the Barcelonas, the Dutch, the whoever's to play that tiki-taka style of football. Lindsay's
got some demonstrations going on about the changes in rules in Scottish football. And what a better way than to demonstrate them herself. Very interactive. Look at this. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Queen's Park have created the offside rule. They also did the half-time break, so when you're munching into your pie and bovril, thank you very much, the Queen's Park Football Club. They invented the crossbar and they also invented the free kick. We're going to head over to very, very pretty Rose Garden over by to the first Hampden Park, and I'm going to tell you all about it.
Lindsay, we've heard a little bit about it there for the first part of the 3 Hampdens. However, Lindsay, I believe that England wasn't actually the place that football was invented, as they may claim. It's coming home, this and that. I heard it was Scotland.
Yes, you're correct. So we in Scotland have the oldest football law. We've got the oldest ball, no this one, and the oldest football club, as well as the first unified football association in the whole world.
And there we have it. So if you're walking about saying it's coming home or England created football, do your research, because right here in Glasgow is where football was really invented. Let's go and find out more, come on. If this tour wasn't exclusive enough, you're allowed dogs. How cool is that? Take your dog on the tour and go and learn about the history of Scottish football.
Along the rope there, that's perfect. Yes. So, story goes, Scottish Cup tie was about to be played here for the first time, Hampden Park, although they didn't have a name for it.
Wow, how interesting was that? I can't tell you everything that was said on the tour, because there would be no point in you coming on the tour if I told you everything. However, this place right here, this is where the first ever pavilion was built, just up there. The first ever grandstand was built. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, lovely wee garden now, bowling green in the back, is the site of the first ever Hampden Park. Why, you may ask, did they not just stay here? Why didn't they just keep to the same Hampden Park? So, Caledonian Railway had a plan to build a railway, as you can see, right up there, that still exists to this day, right across the back. Unfortunately, in Queen's Park's case and in Scotland's case, that meant it was right through the pitch. On that day, the decision was made that Queen's Park in Scotland would have to move to a second Hampden, which we're going to go and see just now. Look at that. Scotland 5, England 1. I wouldn't mind that on Tuesday, I must admit. So as you can see here, this was the first purposely built international football ground and template for all modern stadia. What's more, the Scottish professors developed the modern combination of passing and running. The Scottish game is now played or watched by 3.5 billion people globally, and it all started here. How crazy is that? So as you can see, the timeline is there. The first Hampden, 1873, it was built. 10,000 spectators watched Scotland beat England 5-1. 1884, the railway was built over the first Hampden, and unfortunately they were kicked off. The game that you love, the game that we all love, the game that we've grown up adoring, started here. Crazy. It's incredible to think that Scotland invented so much to do with football. From the sport itself, football actually being Scottish and being invented by the Scottish, all the way to things like turnstiles, to things like season tickets. It's just absolutely phenomenal to know that the game isn't actually coming home to England, and in fact, it's Scottish. And would you look at that? Scotland 5, England 1. You love to see it. Right, enough of that. Let's go into the big one, Hampden Park. Lindsay, it's so crazy the fact that I've walked all around these areas so many times, steaming after Scotland matches. Even down here, and I've never been at the Hampden Park.
Never in your life?
Never in my life.
Right, well that's a bit
This is my first time ever.
Yeah.
Never been to the bowling club, I've walked by it. Try to read it half cut, but it's amazing. It's amazing just to find out all these facts. I'm absolutely buzzing. I've been desperate to get me here for ages. So
I'll tell you a bunch of stories as well. So.
Let's go. What is this we've got here? Hey yo!
What are you guys? I said the easiest question too.
The third Hampden?
No, that's the second one.
Second Hampden.
Sevilla FC. Every single year to this day, Seville Football Club have a Buns Night to celebrate the Scots who invented their football club. So
as everyone just heads up into Hampden Park now, I'm just going to explain this. Does anybody know what this is? Yes, this is the badge of 3rd Lanark Football Club. So, 3rd Lanark Football Club was the host of Cafferty Park up here, which we're going to go and see in a wee minute. However, in 1967, unfortunately, this club was run into the ground. So, in terms of 3rd Lanark, this and Cafferty Park up there is all that remains of what once was one of Scotland's biggest football clubs. Well, if we haven't had enough stories, I've got a couple more for you. So Lindsay has just filled me in to the fact that Scotland wasn't the only place impacted by the Scottish invention of football. Yes, a certain couple of countries you may know in South America had this small impact of invention of football. Yes, countries such as Brazil, Uruguay, and a certain World Cup champion you may know by the name of Argentina. These people were Scottish professors. Scottish professors playing their games of football on their breaks, took the game out to South America, and from that came the wonderful game that we see all over the world today, football. Now, enough of South America, we are here for Scotland, and right now, I'm going to see Cafferty Park for the first ever time. Let's go.
As I said, was set up by Renton Football Club, more or less Peter Fairley at Renton FC. Rules though, and so did Wales, but I don't think we invented. Ireland back there would have been wrong. Aye, sorry, apologies, yeah. Oh, well, you've got a foul.
Wow, first ever time here, and this is breathtaking. I'm going to get here and do another video specifically on this stadium because there's so much to take in here. However, wow, just look at this. As you can see here, the pitch is still lined, it still gets used, but just look at that. Engulfed in the trees. I'm excited to go and explore more of this stadium. However, this is all you're going to see for now. We're going to get back very, very soon.
And that's the moment England realise we have a problem. We cannot compete with the passing game and whatever. We need to adapt. And you can take it to this game, January 1884. That's the moment that English football changes, and it goes on like that.
And just like that, we're off to the 3rd and final Hampden Park. What a lovely park this is, and it's mad to think that there was 40,000 people in here at one point watching football in some of Scotland's biggest games. Oh. And look at that, Cafferty Park, and a certain place you've seen a couple of times on this channel. Yes, the home of Scottish football now. There it is in all its glory, Hampden Park.
But we're staying here, this is the 3rd Hampden Park. Wondered as well if they were going to call Lesser a Hampden name or something. With this place being built, they wanted safety at the forefront of it. So the hillside, the natural bowl that Mount Florida offered, they wanted to put the football pitch in the middle of the bowl. It meant everybody was in solid ground, there was zero risk of collapse. So they got rid of the building from the ground up and built into the natural hillside. It was genius. It's simple, but it's genius. The games in 1937, you rightly said, we broke those world records. So Scotland versus England, we beat them that day, get in. Just shy of 150,000 folk in this stadium to watch the game. 7 days later, 147,000 folk in here to watch the Scottish Cup final between Celtic and Aberdeen. A further 20,000 people walked outside on this street. Crazy. They all heard the click of the turnstile gates.
So, last but not least, we are here at Hampden, Scotland's home. And let me just tell you, it's not only Scotland's home. This was the home of the first ever televised European match. The game you know nowadays, the Champions League finals that you watch every single year, that you sit with your beer, sitting on the couch. Well, maybe if you're under 18 you might not sit with a beer. You sit with your Coke on the couch. This is where it was all invented. The famous Champions League nights, it all started just here. After certain disasters and certain safety concerns, the Scottish FA decided something needed to be done about it. And this is why Hampden Park, that we see today, was built and moved into the 3rd and final Hampden. You could say the 4th, we have got lesser Hampden over here. However, I think there's only 3. Is there an argument for a 4th? Maybe, possibly. However, we're here to just talk about the 3. Scotland, a country always aiming big, despite not really performing big. This stadium right here, when it was opened as the biggest stadium in the world. Yes, we wanted it to be big, and we wanted it to be bigger than anybody's that ever existed. Scotland-England, a game that we're going to see on Tuesday, the old enemy, probably the biggest rivalry in international football. This game was host to many an occasion, one of which still holds a record for the biggest crowd in European football. 149,000 people packed into this ground. Today, that is absolutely unimaginable. However, in the old style terracing without the seats, you can understand how. Well, Lindsay, that's the end of the tour. It's been an absolute pleasure. What a day it's been. Thank you very much.
No, thanks for coming on, mate. I'm excited.
And I hear you've got a couple more spaces, you've got a couple more tours. If people want to get the feeling of Scottish football, if people want to find out the history, just like I've done, you've got a couple more spaces just before the England game. This video will be out tomorrow, which is Monday, and you've got a couple of spaces Tuesday morning.
I've got 6 spaces Tuesday morning, so it's a story of football. Doesn't matter where you're from in the world, this is the story of football, how it was made, how it was codified, how it was taught to the world by Scots.
There we go. Glasgow Football Tour. If you're not already, go and give them a follow on the socials. I'll put the socials in the bio. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're in the mood for Scotland versus England on Tuesday, because I am, and I'm going to be bringing you one of the best vlogs we have seen. That national anthem, that hatred, wow, I'm excited. It's the first ever Scotland-England game I've ever been to, and it may just be the first ever you've seen as well. Let's go, come on, let's go, Sha.